Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Do I Want to Know podcast, presented by Wells Vodka Infused Lemonade, and as always, part of the TSB network. This is our season finale. Season 1 is done after this episode, and we have a great episode for you. We are going all the way across the pond and talking to somebody from France and Spain, my good friend Raphael Machard. But before we introduce him, let me introduce my co-host as always. I'm not even going to give him his rocky introduction. Marc, where you at, buddy? I know you're there.
Yeah, I'm out here today. I'm excited for the season finale.
Yeah.
Season 1, it's been a great ride so far. We've had some great guests, great
Amazing.
shows along the way, great interactions. I've really loved it so far. But I'm really excited. As you can see, I got the Raptors jersey represent,
Yeah, I support them 100%.
Tough series against the Celtics, but we'll see what happens. And but I'm ready for this guy. Apparently, he's a basketball player, Mitch?
Yes, he's been playing basketball for a long time. He's actually playing on the Real Madrid under-22 team and is hopefully to move up the ranks and one day play for the Euro team in Real Madrid. So he is from France, but he is in Madrid studying kinesiology at the University of Madrid and still doing the team as well on the side. So he's pretty involved in basketball. Basketball's been his passion, it's been his life. So I'm looking forward to this podcast, definitely. And it'd be a great one to end it all, to end season 1. So
I'm excited. I want to get this going, though. You ready, Mitch?
Let's go, man. Let's start it up.
All right, Ben, run the intro.
Do I want to know is the question I'ma ask. I'm diving in deep, it's like a blast from the past. New guests every week, is that enough for your ass? Cause these men's have us chill, you best grab a coat. You can't handle the questions, you best leave the show. It's Mitchell Cairns and Marc Vicioso, the two kingpins, like Chewy and Solo.
And here he is, man, Raphael. Raph, how are you, man?
I'm good, thank you.
Raphael, looking like a stand-up guy. If anybody didn't see before, I really wish. I keep on saying this every time. I wish we could air the pre-show. This guy was in the streets of Europe. He started with the streets of Europe. He did about an hour trek to some next casa in Madrid.
Yeah, to his girlfriend's house. Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
So we appreciate the effort, man. We appreciate that, man. This guy was running on the subway, running here. We appreciate it, man. We really do.
Look at this. Look at this. He's already smiling. Again, Raphael, he's English. He's great at English. I'm so proud of this, Raphael. Look at this.
Man, the last time I spoke English was with Mitchell when he came to Spain.
That's right. Yeah, people don't know. I went to Spain for a bit actually, and it was great, man. We met.
How was Mitchell's Spanish? How did he try?
Not that much. We went to France too.
That's
he spoke
right.
more French. He spoke more French than Spanish.
Of course.
Well, I tried my best, even though I stopped in grade 9. I still try to learn as much French as I can.
I rate it.
Yeah.
Well, I heard you're a great basketball player, Raphael, and we want to start talking about that, right, Mitch?
That's right, man. How was? As I know you're playing for the under-22 Real Madrid team, right? Is that right?
No, Real Madrid, no. It's called Real Canoe.
Okay,
look at this. Real Canoe. Okay.
I wish it was the Real Madrid, but no.
Yeah.
But I trained with the pro last year. They play in the second highest division in Spain.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was very interesting.
Tell us about that. Tell us, what do you think, the main kind of differences between, the NBA and maybe the Euro League or the Spanish League?
The main difference, you have a lot of difference. The first one that comes in my mind is the rules. You cannot, for example, in the NBA, you cannot clear the basket.
The goaltending, when it's right off the rim, you can't clear it off the rim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And you also cannot stay in the paint for more than 3 seconds in the NBA, and in Europe you can. So it makes it very, very difficult to attack the basket.
Oh, so they play a lot of zone, I'm guessing, and they just pack the paint.
It's not a zone, but it's kind of because a guy like Rudy Gobert or Jokic can stay in the paint all the time. So
and he can disrupt the flow of the offense and prevent the smaller guys from getting into the paint it's sort of something that happens in NCAA as well, because you watch American college basketball at all, like Duke, North Carolina, those type of teams?
Last year, I think it was last year. Oh, 2 years ago. Well, I watched Duke when RJ, Zion,
Yeah,
and
all those guys, Trey
Yeah.
Jones, Cam Reddish.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's sort of a similar thing, yeah? Like the paint, at least.
Yeah,
it's
and the
sort
court
of
is
clogged
smaller
up.
too.
Exactly, the court's smaller.
Yeah, hey, Raph. Just a little side segment here, just in case she's watching. You know who met them? Who was friends with them?
Who? Oh yeah, I saw that on Instagram. Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah,
What's going on here? What
Oh
happened?
man, it's a different thing. But I introduced Raph to one of my friends. That's kind of it. We'll just leave it there on that. Okay.
All right, little side journeys you guys are
Little
having.
side journeys.
You guys
there,
go to
yes.
Spain together, France. Sounds like she's like a lost flame. What's going on?
No, she's not a last name. She's great. But
she met
going
him
back-
in, she
going
met
back.
him in the U.S. No,
Pardon?
she met him in the U.S.
Yeah, she goes to University of Elon, and that's like 40 minutes outside of Duke. So that's how they met.
Okay, that's pretty close.
But going back to talking about the difference between Europe and kind of North America, the play style from the player's perspective, is it different? Is it similar? What are the stuff you see? Like, is it – I always thought personally European players understand the flow of basketball a lot better. The more mentally higher IQ, where in North America, they're more talented in the physical, the athletic standpoint of it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you said everything. In Europe, you play more like as a team, and you have to really know how to read the game. If you don't know how to read the game, it's very complicated to play. In the US, it's more like an isolation type of game, and with a lot of athletic players. And in Europe, it's different. You definitely need to know how to shoot.
Yeah.
Because of the centers, that's always
Exactly, yeah.
key. And yeah, the pace is very, very high.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely needs to have an IQ that's high too.
Yeah.
For
A
sure,
lot
for
of
sure.
physicality.
So would you say, Raphael, when you're playing like let's say you're playing like a 5-on, or let's say you're picking up at practice and you have a lot of players on your team, like when you have the players on your team, do you sort of go through a lot more plays in Europe? Because I know in NBA and like sort of high school basketball, going into university in Canada and the United States, they go through a lot of like conditioning drills and like stuff like this, and they prepare their athletes like that. Would you say in Europe it's more like technical based, so you get more time in the gym to actually perfect that shot or learn those plays, those high IQ things that maybe makes a difference?
We don't train that much of the personal skills.
Mm-hmm.
We spend a lot of time with all of the combination, the systems, right?
Mhm.
Like screening and moving. We spend a lot of time with that.
So a lot of flow of the game type
Exactly.
of stuff.
Understand
Yeah.
the flow.
And understand, because that's one of the main parts. I'm really glad for that basketball journey that you're going on right now.
Yeah, bro. I remember, keep that up, man. I know how much you love basketball. I remember when you played on my team, your IQ, man, was something different, bro. We always knew that. You always knew you understood the flow of the game a lot better than we did, bro. So
For sure.
keep
for
on
sure.
that basketball grind, though. One question I actually wanted to ask you, man, is before your games, what's like your pre-game listening tracks? What are you listening to? What's your playlist, man? What's on your playlist?
Whew. It really depends on the game.
Okay,
But-
okay.
All right, let's say you're playing like top team in Europe, top team in your division.
Yep.
You're ready to go up 1-on-1. Who are you? What are you playing? Some Drake, some Pop Smoke, some Dua Lipa. What's going
Definitely
on?
from Drake.
Drake,
Definitely from
okay.
Drake. A song that's called Outlet. I don't know if you know that song.
Outlet.
Or
Okay.
I don't know. I listen to a lot of Drake, Future, Lil Wayne. That time
Okay.
that type of song. Yeah.
See, those are the names that Mark and I know. But do you listen to any like European music, maybe?
Yeah.
Like, European
I was
artists. Like,
about to say, yeah.
I know French rap is something that's on the up. Like I'm hearing a lot more French rap. Like you hear it in 2K now. It's a lot of French rap in 2K. So, what is your thoughts on French rap? And is that part of your pregame playlist as well?
I don't really like French rap to like listen in the everyday life
Mm.
because of the aggressivity and like insults of that.
Okay.
Like before a game, I really need to like get hype. I'm definitely listening to some very good and
Motivation stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
motivation, like aggressive stuff.
Yeah.
So would you say like when you're let's take a step away from the basketball and like when you're out there, obviously you're getting hyped for the game. Would you say like I know obviously you listen to Drake, Future, Lil Wayne, and those type of guys, but would you say that your friends, like let's say you have some friends in university, you obviously go to university right now, what artists outside of those do you think really translate to like even though because I'm pretty sure a lot of people in Europe don't even understand the lyrics sometimes because sometimes guy raps really fast. He's talking with slang that's from New York, Toronto, Atlanta. So sometimes it may be hard to understand. Are you looking more for the beat and the rhythm or just like the flow of what he's saying and then you can attach yourself to that?
Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I find like some song that I like and I like focus on the lyrics and I like the song less knowing the lyrics just because of the poor quality, I guess.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Because like for us in North America, like let's give an example here. We don't know anything but like what songs are saying like in Spanish. Like you have like Despacito, you had like Danze Kuduro. Like we didn't understand a word they're saying. That we don't know what they're saying, but we still sing along to it like we do. Is that kind of like the same thing in France?
Yeah, it's the same.
With English?
Same.
Okay.
Yeah, they sort of like when Drake and the new song they go like baby, you know, and then they sort of know it that way. You know what I mean? They latch on those those words they know.
So
I mean, we never really focus on the lyrics, right?
yeah,
Just, like,
exactly. Do
everything.
you guys in Europe, like what would you say is the top American, Canadian, North American? We'll go with North American. Who are the top North American artists that are more popular per se in Europe, in France, in Spain? Like what are the ones you see?
Drake.
Drake is
yeah.
So Drake is just everywhere. Eh?
Drake's
Yeah.
king of the world.
Greece,
Then.
Europe, anywhere you go, Drake's that guy. I'm really proud of this guy. He came from Toronto. He just made himself. He's known everywhere. I rate this guy.
He's the king of rap right now, I think.
Yeah,
Not in the sense of his game, but he's just as popularity. He runs rap right now. If you call Drake rap.
the difference between Spain and France is French people would listen to a lot of North American songs, and Spanish people are really in their songs. Like they're gonna listen to reggaeton like all day.
Of course.
Not really focus on North American or French song.
For sure. I definitely see that with a lot of, especially outside of Spain, because Spain's sort of their own thing in Europe, but there's also like the countries like Brazil, Dominican Republic, Cuba, maybe not less Cuba, like Puerto Rico. They all have their own sound, and Spanish people love to listen to that. But that's just sort of what the culture takes you, and it's where it takes you. But speaking of culture, we all have different cultures. Me and Mitch, we're North American. You're European, obviously. But we also have different times at the nightclub. You know, you like the nightclubs?
This guy wants to. Oh, look at this. Of course, he likes the nightclub. Look at this guy. This guy
Look
can
at
probably
that-
pick up
look at
any
that
shot he
shirt.
wants.
I'm not the biggest party guy, but I do go to some clubs sometimes.
Yeah, Mark, we got to make sure he's careful. He has a girlfriend. Remember that. He has a
Oh,
girlfriend.
he does.
He has a
What's her
girlfriend.
name? I can shout her out. I can give her a nice shout out on the podcast.
Claudia, se llama Claudia.
Excuse me?
Claudia.
Talia?
Claudia.
Oh, Claudia. Okay, Claudia. You got an amazing guy right here. Raphael is doing a great job so
Amazing guy.
far.
Look at this guy.
But
See, Mark, he's the real poster boy playboy. Look at this guy.
look at him. Look at that. He got the Hugo Boss shirt, I think. What is that?
That's Mango.
Ah, there we go.
He's with it, man.
But- But
Go,
you got
Mark.
a guy like Raphael. He's a playboy. He gets all the girls. He has a lady. He's already there. But for guys like me and Mitch, we're single guys. We need to go out and we have to go into the world. So when we go to the club, like Raphael in Toronto, it's sort of different. I want to tell my experience in Toronto life, and then you tell me if you see any similarities to what it
Are we
is.
giving the full experience, Mark? Like, what
Yeah, I'll
have you
give them
done?
a full experience. I give them a full show. So when usually me and Mitch go out, we usually have the motive. We text about the motive. And then we have to subway down. Is that sort of similar, right? You have to subway down. And then after you subway down, you get to a sort of a pre-place, a place where you drink the alcohol.
Yeah.
So we drink the alcohol there. It could be a friend's house. It could be just an Airbnb type of thing. A place, a cottage. And you sort of drink there and you get ready. You get accustomed to the people, the music. You start playing a bit of music, but not quite the hype tracks that you listen to in the club. Sort of those feel you into it. Let's get going. Then after that, obviously you're too drunk to drive. Do I Want to Know podcast does not promote drinking and driving at all.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
So we have to take the Uber usually. So usually the Uber, we get an Uber XL. I know it's a bit shaky during COVID, but this is pre-COVID time.
Wait. Do you guys even have Uber there in Europe?
Yeah.
All right, good. Just
Of course they have.
Who am I? Like, I don't know anything. Come on. Continue, Mark, though. Continue.
So you're in the Uber, and then maybe you ask the driver for the aux cord. Sometimes you don't ask the driver for the aux cord. Sometimes you're on there for yourself, and then you just listen to whatever he has. Then you get out, you wait in line, you're in the club. Now, there's type of things that you have. So you can either go in a booth, or you can just be out amongst the mass population of the club. Usually, we're in the middle of the dance floor just going like this, pumping it away, getting the shorties, doing that. And then after that, you have to look at what's going on. So if you're there, let's say you have a girlfriend and you just want to party with the boys, you sort of stay at the back and you sort of watch the scene. But if you're a guy like me, maybe Mark will go in and he'll try and game a catty, as we call it in North America. That's a girl or
a what?
A caddy.
A what?
Catty. A catty.
I have never heard that.
That's sort of like that's the North American Toronto slang for a nice looking hot girl, if you will.
I thought it's shorty, but whatever. Okay.
Shorty, kiati, whatever you want to call it. So then you have that, and then sort of there's the other guys that are too drunk to even process the night. And then at the end of the night, usually it ends, we sort of drag a couple guys out the club. One guy's making out with the girl. We have to drag him off, and we have to get home.
Starting fights. Don't forget the fights, man.
And obviously there's a fight that happens, and then we usually end up at a place to grab some late night food, late night snacks, and that's usually A&W. So that's usually what happens in a night out for us. If you can look at that, I know some of the terms you maybe didn't understand, but what parts of what I just said can you relate to?
The main difference in Madrid, I think it's at the beginning, before going to the club, we're not going to anyone's house because you're in the capital of Madrid. No one has like a big house. I remember when we were in Toronto, when I was in Toronto with Mitch brought me to some party where we went to some of his friend's house and we stayed there all night. And here you don't do this because no one has like a house that big.
No one has the room, no one has the property.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In Madrid, you have a lot of parks, so people will go there with alcohol and start
parks.
Drinking there, parks or apartment. If you don't want to go to a park, or you also have like bars where you can go before, and then it's pretty much the same. You go to a club, you dance. In Spain, the girls like to go like to contact with the boys more, I guess.
Ooh, look at this. There you go. Mark, we gotta go to Spain, man.
I know, man. Like, look, they're would you say almost to the girls, I know it's sort of gonna be like out maybe controversial for some, but would you say that the European girls are almost a bit more flirtatious, as in like sexual?
Good word choice there, Mark. Good word choice.
Exactly. A little bit more sexual early on, and then they sort of fall back?
It depends on what country in Europe. Because
what's one of the big countries with the girls that they love to dance?
Spain.
Okay. Spain.
Yeah.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you go to France, it's very complicated, like starting something with a girl.
Because I remember you telling me that, Raph, when you first came to Canada, when you started hanging out. You said you're like French girls like are really hard to get with like French guys, but they like everyone outside of France, right? And then in Canada, when you came here, Mark, I gotta say, when this guy came here, everywhere I took this guy, yo, who's Mitchell's cousin? I didn't tell people who's my cousin just to like talk to more girls, man.
He has a girlfriend, Mitch.
What? It's fine, man.
Fine.
It's fine. Come on.
It's fine. Okay.
Look at this guy.
So, Raphael, before we sort of like get off this topic, I have one last question for you. Let's say back in your day, when you were a single lady, a free agent, if you will, you weren't signed to Real Madrid, Barcelona, wherever you were. What was your go-to line when you see a shorty in the club? You can use Spanish. What's your go-to pickup line, if you will?
In the club, I never went to a girl in a club.
Okay, at a party then. At a party.
I know you got some. Or man, look at this guy. All he has to do is walk up, show that white smile, those blue eyes, bro, and they're done.
Or just like a, hey, how's it?
I never really went to a girl. Like, I don't know.
No?
You're always more of a nervous
bro,
guy.
they're attracted to him, man. He doesn't have to do anything. Come on, man.
Look at that guy.
Guys like you and I, Mark, we need to do a lot more extra work, man.
Exactly.
A lot more extra work.
How tall are you, Raphael? 6'4"?
No, I'm 6'1".
It's okay, but 6'1" in Europe, that's like 6'5" in North America.
No, he's tall in Europe. He's tall in Europe, man. You know what? I'll say one thing. You guys are very similar with your competitive nature. You guys are both very competitive. I'll give you guys that.
Maybe me and Raphael have to go a little one-on-one. I did play a bit of basketball myself. So
you don't have a chance, Mark.
You know, I beat Mitch all the time, though.
He beats me right now,
He doesn't tell you that,
too.
Raphael. He doesn't tell you that one.
No, he beats me. I'll give you that. Mark does beat me all the time. But, like, I'll tell you one thing. Raph is witness. And when he was here, bro, Raph, tell him how my shooting, man. I was lights out as a shooter.
Yeah, I was going to ask, who's better shooting between you and
Right
Mark?
now, I haven't shot. Like, we barely played basketball, so I'll give it to Mark right now. But I haven't, like –
I'm more of the I play in and out. I don't have, like a specialty. I'm good around the rim, but also I can shoot it a bit. And I'm more of an all-around player. But it is what it is. But it's been a great show so far, Raph. I really love what you have to do. English has been great. I don't know what you're talking about. This English.
Man, you were all like, bro, you've been like perfect, man. Like, I don't see a difference, man. If you guys don't know, as we're talking about France and Spain, he's fluent in French, obviously, and he's also recently living in Madrid, became almost fluent in Spanish. So his English has taken like a back seat. But
he's trilingual. What do you expect? If you're trilingual, you gotta.
But look at this though. He said his English wasn't as good. He's killing it. He's absolutely killing it.
I love it. And also, I forgot. People are gonna kill me on this. People I didn't know. Francesco the Frank the Tank Eye and Porno's not here today.
That's right.
He's back in Wasaga Beach, and that's why we don't have the producer. I know probably a lot of people so far. They're wondering, where the hell's Frank the Tank?
Frankie? Yeah, you know about Frankie, right, Raph? You see Frankie?
Yeah. I do. Yeah. I do watch. Yeah.
If you guys don't know, also Raph is one of the day one supporters of the show. All right.
That's right.
Day one supporters. I remember like first 2 episodes, he was posting on his story. He was telling me his friends were watching it. So we appreciate that, Raph. We do. Really appreciate that, man. But as always, after we get past a couple questions, we got to move on into our open book segment. All right, Raph. So you've watched the show before, correct?
Correct.
Right. So we're in the open book segment now where you get to ask Mark or myself any question you want. It can be about anything. It can be about basketball. It can be about relationships. It can be about anything you want. The only difference is, not a difference, but the only thing you should know is that we get to ask you a question right back that's in the same subject of what you ask us. All right? So I know you were telling me before you have some questions prepared, right?
Questions.
Well, I heard he had questions, so he's going to maybe makes it a 2-parter maybe. This is our season finale, so we might have to go 2-part maybe. But obviously you have an idea who you want to ask, Raph. Who is it would you like to ask?
Can I get one question each of you?
Of course.
You know what?
Because
it is our season finale, one question each. I'm good with that.
All right, so I'm
also, wait a second. That does mean we'll ask 2 questions back at you then.
All right, that's fine.
All right.
That was great.
That's good.
You're 4, right?
I'll start with you, Mitch. But the question is very, very simple, right? All right.
See what he
So
says.
I'd like to know.
Oh, by the way, no names.
Hmm.
No names.
It's
Can't
not,
bring
it's
up
not,
names. If you want a story, confidential. So
It's-
no, you can't say names. Okay. All right.
it's only about you.
Go. I'm pretty sure it's not like a crazy question.
I don't think it's
No,
crazy.
it's nothing
but okay,
crazy. It's nothing crazy. It's
Go
pretty
then. All right,
serious.
go.
All right, I'd like to know, we've all seen like your Instagram post where you went like so cut and everything. So I'd like to know first if any girls went to your DM after this, and I'd like also to know how you got so cut, like if you have any routine, workout, diet, and everything.
I like this question.
You know what? That's a great question. That is an absolutely great question. And people who know me are tired of hearing me talking about it, what I do. And look at Mark. Mark knows. Mark knows the routine. Mark knows everything. But
For the viewer at home.
For the viewer, all right? So, obviously, there was some people that slid into my DMs. Obviously. I'm not going to say there wasn't. I'm not going to say who.
All right, how many?
How many? Like 4, I think. 4.
Four girls. 4 separate girls.
4 girls. But there were, to be honest, though, there was a lot of guys that were like, yo, relax. There were a lot of guys saying, yo, Mitch, what's your routine? How'd you get so cut? They were asking about my workout plan, which, again, Raph is asking the exact same thing with this. So,
of course.
What I explained to them was, Raph knew me when I was not like, I was a little bit bigger, per se, you know? Raph knows that I was a little bit bigger. So I wanted to completely change that. So I'm on right now a 6-day workout split. I work out 6 days. Sunday today, which is where we're recording Sunday, is a rest day. So I didn't work out today, but I work out back and buys one day, chest, triceps, and shoulders, legs, and then I repeat that. So again, it's just pull day, push day, legs. All right? That's my workout schedule. And then I eat like the same thing almost every single day just to know my calorie counting. So
Mitch, I have a question though.
Go.
What would you say, like, I think Raphael is pretty intrigued in this. Like, obviously, maybe a lot of people maybe that aren't as cut or don't want to, I'm not even making it as a joke, aren't as cut as you or don't have sort of that same physique as you. They maybe do push, pull, legs. But what is it that separates it? Would you say that it's the diet, that it is the food that helps?
It is 100% the diet. Because I started this whole fitness journey like 2 years ago. Like I actually started it in France with Raph in Spain and France. Remember me and Raph went to the gym a couple of times. We both said we're eating better, eating cleaner. But I still wasn't at that level. What really changed the difference was calorie counting. Knowing how many calories are in, calories out. That's literally the only thing you need to worry about. If you want to gain muscle, you need to know how many calories you burn throughout the day, which is the reason why I have my Fitbit here. It gives me not exactly, but a good approximate how many calories I burned in the day. And off that, if I want to cut, as you said, get more lean, I eat 700 to 500 calories less than what I have on my tracker. If you're in the bulking stage and want to put on some, muscle, you go 200 to 300 plus. So that's kind of basically it. And then you have also your macros, proteins, carbs, fats, limiting those carbs and fats if you're trying to cut fat down and keeping your 1 pound of protein per weight. You guys use pounds, right? In France?
No.
Kilograms.
Kilograms. Yeah.
Use kilograms. Okay. So then it'd be like, I think it's
1 kilogram is 2.2.
So then it's like 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram. That's what I do. So basically that's it. So I appreciate that question, Rao. I appreciate that, man. Do you have another question for Mark? And then we'll give you your questions right back.
Yeah. The one for Mark is a little bit tougher. All right. Since Do I Want to Know has become an international podcast, you either have to introduce yourself and the podcast in any language other than English, or you have to tell your biggest lie.
Interesting question.
So he's basically saying you gotta either introduce the show
in another language.
Do you speak Italian?
I know the Italian national anthem. I could sing that, but I'm not gonna do this.
So you got that, or you gotta tell, what was it, Raph? His biggest lie?
The biggest lie, yeah.
That you told? That he's told?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a great question.
All right.
What is it, Mark?
Well, considering I can only give you the Italian national anthem and I can dabble in a bit of French and Spanish, but nothing too crazy. I'm gonna introduce the show in this. I guess biggest lie, If you're looking all time, I could probably say something like what I would tell my parents, but I don't want to get in trouble.
Buddy, we want some. This is the season finale, man. Give us the goods. What's
the biggest lie that I ever told? Okay, well,
it can be a lie you told your boys. Be like, all right, I told you this, but it was complete cap.
All right. One of the biggest caps that I ever had was like I think it was maybe grade 9. It was grade 8 going into high school dance. And then, everybody was sort of, talking about, oh, my God, they're doing this. They made out with this girl. They did that. They touched her. I didn't. So, sort of, I made, there was this last, day of school dance, I guess you can call it. And then, everybody was sort of doing their own thing, minding their own business. So, I sort of made up a lie to all my friends that, I had this girl from this next school that was St. Valentine, and I was dancing with her, and she was sending me pictures and this and that. And I don't know. I could blame myself for doing it, but also I'm gonna blame it on youth. You know what I mean? When you're that young and you hear all these people talking about their own experiences, I wanna kiss a girl, And I was also a bigger guy. You know what I mean? I didn't get all those opportunities. So I guess, that was one of the bigger lies that I told, I would say.
Man, Mark, man, you keep going back to high school days for all your stories, man.
What? I'm not a liar. I'm an honest guy.
You're an honest guy.
What do you mean? Anything that goes bad is when the other person's dishonest. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or when the other person caps. Why? What's a big lie I've told, bitch? Come on.
What's a big lie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're not gonna get to that right now, but whatever.
No.
We're not gonna get to that, Mark. We're not gonna get to that.
It's season finale time. What is a big lie?
We're not getting to that right now, man. We're not getting to that. You don't want me to tell, to be honest. But Rob, one thing, bro, chill out. All right, take a back seat, bro.
All right, we'll talk later.
We'll talk definitely later. All right. So, Raph, you asked us 2 great questions, amazing questions, but it's our turn now to ask you. All right. So, Mark, I'll let you go first because I think you have something in mind, correct?
Yeah, I guess I do have something in mind.
All right. You go first, and I got my next one.
All right. So, Raphael, you obviously have a nice shirt on. You're big into. You look like you're big into fashion, correct?
Well, pretty normal, I guess.
No. Man's got style.
Man's got style. Man's got drip.
Everyone compared to Canada, Raph, you got drip. You got style. I know in France, everybody dressed like supermodels there, or it's all done out perfectly, but you got style, bro. Trust.
So obviously, there's also a lot of girls around, and obviously you have your girlfriend and this and that. But I'm gonna ask this question because a lot of people struggle with this. Maybe a lot of people can't afford to look the best. B, don't know the proper places to look the best. Wear the right shoes that complement your outfit, your proper what your size is, how you're supposed to wear a size. So would you say how essential would you say that quote unquote drip or fashion is in attracting girls? Would you say?
So basically, yeah.
You cannot always how do you say it? Generalize. But in France and in Spain, being stylish, is that right?
Yeah, stylish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty important. It's the way you're gonna sell yourself.
Interesting.
It's very important here. And you're telling me I dress well and everything, but I'm nothing special in France. I remember when I was the first months I I went to Toronto, Central Toronto Academy. That was my high school
CTA.
in Toronto. They asked me if I wanted to model for the school,
Mhm.
just because the way I was dressing, but I was nothing
Bro.
of a model.
So it's sort of like almost sometimes you don't recognize that you have the drip, or you may not think it is, but a lot of people, maybe it's like a European look. You know what I mean? Because you give off the sort of lankier, like something's there with this guy, something's different. So you'd almost say that it's less of the fashion per se and more of the persona and sort of who you are as like how you give off your different vibes and that different energy you give off.
What I don't like about friends is like if you don't dress well, you're gonna be like the society gonna put like
Judge.
you away.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty. I don't like this in friends because if you don't dress well, you basically don't have any friends. In high school, it was like this, and that's sad. And what I really like about Toronto is like everyone's so open-minded and no one judged no one. I really liked it.
Oh, so they're very judgmental in Spain and France. Is that what you're
And
trying
I
to
can
say?
see that because
In
a lot
France,
of
in France
Continue,
more
Raphael.
than in France definitely more than in Spain. The judgments thing.
Yeah, I think it's also another thing, like especially different cultures, because North America, it's sort of like a melting pot of a lot of different cultures. You know what I mean? So a lot of people come from the Europes, the South Americas, the Africas, and they come to North America and they sort of create their own style. But then you come from that country, and then you sort of dress like maybe a Ben Wallace jersey or a DeRozan jersey won't work in France. You know what I mean? And you got to sort of think about that. So it's very interesting what you said, how you almost judge how you look and how you dress. And that's very true outside of North America, I would say. I like that. Good answer.
Good answer. All right, buddy. I'm up right now, man. All right. Let's go two ways here. Okay. Let's go with this right now, okay? What would you say, do you think there is a difference in when you're comparing, first let's start with this. What would you rather, like, is it an American girl or a North American girl or a European girl? First, let's answer that question. Which one would you choose if you had to date one?
You have to bring one home to mama. Bring one home to mama.
That's right.
I'll go with the North American one.
Oh, look at this.
Really?
He wants to go continental with it.
Can I ask why?
I don't know. It's more the, I know like North American people are more like positive. They have like an attitude that's more positive about like every problem about life and the education. I just really like that more than like physical.
More than physical? Okay. Here's the extra part here. Just that you're talking about that, saying how France and Spain, I guess, because that's where you've been. You're saying that they're more positive in North America. Do you think that people are more respectful in North America than they are in Spain and France to each other, to the opposite sex, to whatever you say? Do you think they're more respectful, or what do you say about that?
That's tough, but I think in North America, they're pretty much, they're more how do you say it? Respective? No.
Respectful?
Yeah, respectful towards girl. Don't you remember when you went to France?
Yeah.
The way you were, so to you it was like normal, right?
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
to the girl we were with, it was like so special, and you were such a good guy.
That was one of the things the reason why I brought up that question, because like, again, like you said, the way I think it was like stuff like I would do was like holding the door for a girl, cleaning the table, doing the dishes, if they made you a meal, they thought that was all special. I just want to understand, like, is that not, has it changed, or is that still the same way how it is in France?
And you have people that's pretty respectful, and you kind of have a big part of people that does not really respect girls. I'm not gonna say we're not respectful.
No, definitely not.
We're really respectful, but like I don't know. I feel like North American people are more like gentle.
Okay.
Right?
But definitely, because that was one of the things I want to talk about. Like, as you said, I know we talked about this before, but like it's stuff that it's kind of the basics we do here in North America are all special when you go into France, into Spain. They take that as better, more respectful, more attractive, I guess, per se, right?
In Europe, they expect, but they expect a lot, like from a guy.
Okay.
And I think that's also sort of almost a new flavor. You know what I mean? If you're in Europe all the time and you see the same person and you see the same type of thing, you're like, when you see somebody from a different continent and it could be something simple from the way you walk, from the way that you address people. It's sort of like that foreign type of thing that you're like, you're intrigued. And that's sort of what happened in creating all U.S.
Yeah.
Foreign people came to the U.S. and it was like this utopia, this great thing. You know what I mean? And that's how America and Canada became what it was.
Well, let's say something here, man. When Raphael was in Toronto, man.
Exactly.
He walks into the room and all he has all is speak, and you hear the French accent. Girls, all of them just were like, who's that French guy?
And especially like France right now, it's always been up. You know, everybody loves a France guy. But I'd say right now, a lot of people love the British scene, England and that type of thing. That's very popular in Toronto and North America right now.
Right.
If you brought an England guy to a club and he started talking in his British accent, a lot of girls would be like attached to him instantaneously just because he's
the accent.
British.
Girls love the accent. They love to learn different backgrounds too. I noticed that.
I think that's just sort of something that comes with just the world, and it's what we want to know. And we always want to learn something new. And I think today we learned something new about my boy Raphael.
That's
Raphael
right,
Machard. Give him a quick clap.
Round of applause for Raph, man. Killing it today, all right? We appreciate Raph coming on the podcast, man. This was something that I talked to you about way back when I guess COVID started, I think. I talked to you about it. It's been a long way coming. We appreciate you coming on the season finale of the Do I Want to Know podcast, man. Thank you.
Man, thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. And I really love what you guys are doing. Not only with Do I Want to Know, but like with the other show too.
All the other shows. He's talking about the sport board, all the other shows. We appreciate that, right? We appreciate your support on Instagram, YouTube, everything. We see your comments. We see your reposts. We appreciate that, man. All right?
You got to go international with this, right? You got to go international.
Go international, all right? Well, thank you guys for watching this podcast. You can always follow us at the Sport Board on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, TSB Network, just right under this video right here. And Mark.
Until next time.
That's right.